Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first ever Thunderstruck podcast with Tori. I am your host, Tori Ancona. It is August 31st, 2025 at 7 p.m. on a Sunday night, and I'm so excited to kick things off with this podcast. No pun intended. I've been a fan of the Los Angeles Chargers since they were the San Diego Chargers back in 2013 when they got their victory against the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati when Phillip Rivers was leading the charge. And now, fast forward to 2025. And it's year 6 for the superstar quarterback, my favorite player in this NFL league, Justin Herbert. Very excited, really looking forward to it. Also very excited that it is Jim Harbaugh's second year as head coach after exceeding all expectations, including myself, going 11-6. in his first year as the head coach. Although I was quite disappointed after the loss against Houston, I bet you Jim and his team were feeling worse than how I was feeling. Excuse me, but that game showed many things. It showed that we needed to improve many areas in the roster. Many, in fact. And I think they did that over the offseason when it came to the NFL draft, when it came to free agency, and finding some glorious undrafted free agent talent from the NFL draft, which we will mention in this episode. I want to start with a little icebreaker for anybody who is tuning in on YouTube to leave in the comments if you want to answer this question. What is your go-to snack/food for game day? I will say I try to stay away from fast food, but I can't go wrong with the In-N-Out order. My In-N-Out order, which is a 4x4 with grilled onions, no tomato, animal style fry, and a root beer. If you think In-N-Out is overrated, you're just wrong, I'm afraid to inform you. But we're not here to talk about food for this episode. We're going to talk about the recap of the off-season/preseason for the Chargers, my final roster expectations and how they're going to do throughout the year, some rookies to look out for, and some players to look out for as well, and the Kansas City Chiefs preview will all be mentioned in this episode, and I'm very excited for this first game. Boy, in Brazil? Out of all places in the world, in Brazil. As Tony Jefferson said, I'm gonna just stay at the hotel until it's game time. It might be dangerous out there. But I am very excited that it's gonna be a Friday night, streaming it on YouTube, and yeah. It would mean the world if we get a win against the Chiefs, because that's my least favorite team ever. Like, ever. I've hated the Chiefs so much that it makes me miss Tom Brady and his Patriots dynasty, which I never would have thought that I would ever say those words ever up until this point. The Chargers exceeded all expectations, including myself expectations in 2024. They became a playoff team, an 11-6 playoff team under Jim Harbaugh, national champion, former Charger, in fact, for Chargers quarterback, I believe. And yeah, exceeded all expectations for me, although I was quite disappointed that we didn't get that first Justin Herbert playoff win. But I think with the additions that we made to this team, I think it's going to happen this year. Knock on wood. The Chargers got so much firepower when it came to free agency. They got Najee Harris, which has always averaged a 1,000 rushing yard season under the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think we got him for a good deal, and I am so relieved that his 4th of July accident seemed like is getting a little bit behind him. He's practicing, and it's really good to see. The Chargers also added a lot of key components when it comes to the defense. After a disappointing send-off to one of my favorite players last year in Poona Ford when he went to the other Los Angeles team, and man, that really kind of grinded my gears a little bit. The Chargers added Deshaun Hand, Naquan Jones, Benjamin St-Juste, and Dante Jackson, to name a few. But my favorite offseason move that they made in free agency is getting more juice on the offensive line and Jim Harbaugh, when he drafted Joe Alt over Malik Nabers in the 2024 NFL Draft, he explained it perfectly in saying offensive linemen are the tip of the spear. There are weapons too, and let me tell you, it's really apparent when you see Mekhi Becton. I believe this guy is 6'8". He looks like he's 700 pounds. I mean, he is running people over every single run block, and I'm really glad that he's practicing too, because he was down with some little issues and injury issues over the offseason, but he seems to be on pace to start week 1, which is really huge, and I'm really excited to see what happens with that. But then you have quite the disappointing factor, which comes with being a Chargers fan. It's just part of the deal. Rashawn Slater out for the season with a patellar tendon injury, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But that stung, and that really did ruin my whole week, actually. But I really have full hope that the Chargers will overcome it. And how will so? Well, let's start with Joe Alt. I think him starting at left tackle is a really good sign. That's why you draft a tackle in last year's draft. Can you imagine if we get Malik Nabers and then this Slater injury happens? I honestly think that the Chargers would look a lot worse right now. Trey Pipkins will fill in with the right tackle position. And honestly, I know there's a lot of people mixed feelings about that decision, but I will tell you right now, I think that is the best position for him. I've seen him go guard, I've seen him go left tackle, but I've seen him at his strongest sets at the right tackle position. At right guard is Mekhi Becton, we already mentioned him. And center, Bradley Bozeman, who is going into his second year with the Chargers, and then Zion Johnson in the left guard. I honestly think we can roll with that. And honestly, Jamari Sawyer as a swing tackle can be another option, as his rookie year, matter of fact, filled in for Rashawn Slater at left tackle, but he only allowed like 5 sacks in over 1,000 snaps or something like that. So he has some experience at that position. We'll see later in the year if they think that Pipkins is not the right fit at right tackle. They put Joe Alt at right tackle and then Sawyer at left tackle. That will be really interesting as well. Let's talk about the NFL draft now that we address the offseason news of Rashawn Slater and how we can overcome that. The NFL draft, man, we really smashed it out of the park in 2024. Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh and that whole crew, they got some steals. And I'm telling you, steals. Ladd McConkey in the second round. Are you kidding me? And then also, they picked up probably my favorite pick of that season, which is Tarheeb Still out of Maryland in the 5th round, and then getting Cam Hart. I mean, that's an A+. A+, they're now starting. So going into this draft in 2025, I was really looking forward to what they're going for. What is their motive? How are they going to address the needs of this roster? Because of the J.K. Dobbins departure to the rival, AFC West rival, matter of fact, the Denver Broncos picking up J.K. Dobbins, we got Najee Harris, but we also drafted a stud running back in Amarian Hampton out of North Carolina University late in the 1st round. And then we got Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. We got Jamari Caldwell, which already looks stupendous at defensive tackle. Then Keandre Lambert-Smith. I'm having big expectations of Keandre Lambert-Smith. I'm telling you, he showed a lot of flashes in the NFL preseason along with Trey Harris. In the preseason, they showed some flashes, especially against the Rams. And then RJ Mickens is another draft pick that the Chargers got that shows that he is really good at tackling at the line of scrimmage as a safety. That is so important. Kyle Kennard is another edge rusher to our pack, and I am really looking forward to what this rookie class has. Some rookies to look out for, I will say Keandre Lambert-Smith, Amarian Hampton, Rondé Gadsden, hello, what is wrong with me? I almost forgot about Rondé Gadsden. We trade with the Eagles to get him in the 5th round or 6th round, I believe. 5th or 6th? I'm gonna say 5th. Let me know in the comments if I got that right. But Rondé Gadsden, who already looks to be a really good red zone target in a tight end room that, you know, is a little bit average, but Will Dissly is a really good solidified run blocker, and he can get some space outside with his yak ability, along with reliable hands. We need that a lot with Tyler Conklin. Very interesting tight end room, and Tucker Fisk, who has become a really good run blocker, so maybe can open up the lanes for Hassan Haskins, Najee Harris, and Amarian Hampton. Very much looking forward to that. And then the wide receivers. Quentin Johnston, I honestly think, gets a little bit of a bad rep with all the drops. I think if you use Quentin Johnston in a yards after catch scheme, I think he could be really effective. Trey Harris, amazing pick. Keandre Lambert-Smith, amazing pick as well. Might want to see a lot more of Darius Davis. He really showed a lot of spark later in the year in 2024. Not only that he's a big threat in the kickoff return game and the punt return game and special teams, but I really think that he can get some run options here and there. I think Darius Davis can open that up a little bit more. And then the reunion that we were all waiting for. After Mike Williams unexpectedly retired after signing back from the Chargers after his time with the Jets and Steelers, the Chargers still needed a really reliable receiver. And what better option than my personal favorite receiver of all time, Keenan Allen. I mean, I've been a fan since 2013, which is his rookie year. So, I mean, like, it means so much that reunion happened. And I'm so excited that Keenan Allen is this nice veteran option that you can use in the red zone. It's 3rd and 7. You can just throw him the ball. And what a compliment to the best receiver on this team, Ladd McConkey, going into his 2nd year after a stellar rookie year. There were some games that he played hurt. There were some games where he didn't play at all. But when he's on the field, he is electric. And I think that duo with Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey is really electric. Justin Herbert is the quarterback. We know this, but also Trey Lance is a solidified quarterback too, with DJU at quarterback 3, who's currently on the practice squad. But Justin Herbert going into his 6th year, will it be the year that he gets the playoff win? I have 100% confidence that that will happen, knock on wood. I really think he is determined. I think he has better weapons to work with. And man, I think that run attack, if Najee Harris can stay healthy, if Hampton can stay healthy, if the offensive line can stay healthy, the Chargers are going to put a lot of points up. Going to the defense, and man, this defense was one of the best scoring defenses in the league. I believe they were at least top 3, if not top 2. Maybe they were even top 1 at some points of the year. Derwin James, Khalil Mack, Deion Henley leading the charge. I mean, they show amazing leadership. They make plays. You have the veteran Derwin James, who has been one of the best safeties, if not the best safety in the NFL. You have the experienced future Hall of Famer Khalil Mack, and then you have a rising star in Deion Henley. The nickname for him is the Ranger. I follow him on Instagram, so. Then we got the interior defensive line and the edge rushers that really caught my eye. Tuli Pelotu, Caleb Murphy, who showed a lot of options for that depth spot in the preseason. He had a stellar game. I was at the Chargers Saints preseason game in person, seeing the multiple sack game. He got a strip sack, and he was everywhere on that field that day. And I'm really excited that he can come in there, share some reps with rookie Kyle Kennard and Bud Dupree. Pretty good depth when it comes to the Chargers' edge rushing room. Deshaun Hand, Tier Tart, Otito Obonya, Naquan Jones, Justin Ebogbe, and Jamari Caldwell, Scott Matlock, which is also a fullback, by the way, if you don't know, now you know. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see the scheme when it comes to Jesse Minter's defense. I'm really expecting big things out of Naquan Jones after the performance that he had against the San Francisco 49ers in the last preseason game. And then my favorite group on defense, my favorite player going up was actually Eric Weddle for the longest. I was even him for Halloween. So I will say one of my favorite, if not my favorite positions in football is either receiver or defensive back. And man, we have the defensive back depth. I'm telling you right now, we got Tar Heap Still, who is coming off of a stellar rookie year, especially for being a 5th-round pick. He was all over the field last year. Cam Hart, Dante Jackson, Elijah Molden, Alohi Gilman, Derwin James, Kendall Williamson, Jazir Taylor, Nico Reed, and Eric Rogers being the undrafted rookies who showed incredible moments in the NFL preseason games. And I'm really excited looking at them this year. Eric Rogers had an amazing game against the Saints, but he will not be playing the first 4 games because of a sprained ankle. They put him on IR, injured reserve, so we won't see him until that point. But very excited to see Nico Reed. He had that interception against the Lions, and he had many pass breakups in this preseason. So very, very good sign that we get a lot of depth there. RJ Mickens is another depth piece I already mentioned earlier. Really good at the line of scrimmage and really good pick out of Clemson. Benjamin St-Juste we got from the Washington Commanders. We'll see what he brings. He is very tall and very fast. And then the linebacker room, Denzel Perryman, Deion Henley, Troy Dye, and another undrafted stud, Marlo Wax, stepping in for Junior Colson, who is out for the year, unfortunately. He will not make it to his 2nd year. So Marlo Wax is going to be pretty much involved. He showed many plays. That San Francisco game was absolutely spectacular. I believe the best preseason game I've ever seen from a Charger. It's definitely up there. Marlo Wax out of Illinois. He is incredible. And I'm very excited what he brings to the table with Troy Dye, who shows amazing depth behind Deion Henley and Denzel Perryman. And then, very excited to see how Cameron Dicker does. He missed barely 4. He was near perfect out of 40-something kicks. Very reliable. Probably the best kicker in Chargers history. I expect good things out of him. J.K. Scott, very, very solid punter. When it comes to the long snapper, Josh Harris got a injury, so we have the long snapper from the Eagles, Rick Levato. He is a Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Eagles, and he shows a veteran presence. Very important. Long snappers are very important, so I'm really glad that they got a reliable person to step in for Josh Harris, and hopefully the special teams can be very sharp. Okay, the moment y'all been waiting for. Chiefs versus Chargers preview. What do I think is gonna happen? I'm not gonna lie, I am quite the delusional fan. But I will admit at times when I think my team will lose or when my team will win. And it's one of those moments where I've missed football so much that I'm going to say that the Los Angeles Chargers, it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be very difficult. The Chargers are going to win. The Chargers are going to win against the Chiefs in Brazil is my prediction. How do they do that? I think Najee Harris scores in the goal line area, in the red zone area, excuse me. Same with the Marion Hampton. I think Ladd McConkey gets a tud and Keenan Allen gets a tud. Why not? Justin Herbert will throw for about 230 yards plus. Look at that handsome man right there. He's going to do that. He's going to do that. And yeah, I really think that Patrick Mahomes is going to struggle a little more than he did the last 2 matchups against the Chargers. I think the defense will show a lot of blitz packages thanks to Jesse Minter's mastermind game plan that he's going to come in with, and maybe Derwin gets a sack, Thule gets a sack, maybe like a corner. Dante Jackson gets a sack. The blitz packages will go everywhere. Marlo Wax will get a sack. Why not? But I am extremely excited to see what happens, and that will conclude this episode of the Thunderstruck podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed. Follow me on Instagram at the Thunderstruck podcast with Tori, Tore in particular. Follow me on Instagram at Tori Ancona as well if you want to see me. Yeah. Subscribe to the channel. My next episode will be a recap of the Chargers versus Chiefs to see how well my predictions were. I might be very excited or a little bit disappointed, but it's week 1 and I'm really excited that the new football season is here. And apologies, because I bet you I said I'm really excited like 40 times throughout this whole thing, probably more. This is still new to me because I'm a rookie, no pun intended. You guys have a good one, and always remember, bolts up, bolt gang or don't bang, and take care. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.